Welcome to another episode of Ryan on Gaming, and the topic for this one poses the question, are modern video games too easy? Now, the too long didn't watch version of this video is, and this is all personal, all opinion based, but personally I'd say kind of, but not really. Now let's go into the actual talking aspect, if you really wanted to know the answer to the title of this video. Modern video games, they're getting more like cinematic. We've got larger cutscenes, we've got motion cap, we got these great narrative stories, all this great dialogue, epic set pieces, explosions, things going everywhere, right? Modern video games, you're talking Uncharted, Dead Space, Gears of War, just, any sort of modern video game you can think of that you're in the back of your head, you're probably going, man, modern video games are so easy, they're so lame now, they suck, or blah blah blah. And you probably think back to 20 years ago when video games were butt-crushingly difficult. Games like Mega Man, or I don't even have to name them. Most games back then were so damn difficult because you die and you go right back to the beginning, or there's just so much stuff flying at you, and just they're tough, right? They're like modern games made that long ago, arcade games. They're really tough games. Do current modern games offer you that level of challenge? And when I say kind of, but not really, I think one big distinction when you have to look at this is, the fact that it's such a gap, right? We've come a long way in terms of video games, and I love modern video games. I think they're fantastic, they're great, they're, like I just said earlier, they're epic and crazy, right? And they offer something games never could that long ago, which is, really pull at your emotions for some of these, really, these games that are really trying to tell stories, or they're just really action-packed and crazy, like, Battlefield or something. They're great. But I think the distinction you have to look at is that because those games are so big and so great, and generally more longer in terms of how long it takes to finish a campaign, for example, they kind of have to, in a sense, be easier, right? You can't start BioShock and die, 6 hours into the game and be put back to level 1. You just can't do that. And that's why we have difficulties. That's why there's easy, normal, hard, survival mode on BioShock. That's why past video games didn't offer that level of realism and crazy long action-packed of a campaign. You couldn't do that. So they, and generally arcade games, old games like that, they only lasted about an hour long if you really were that good and could play them all the way through, right? Or 1 to 2 hours long. They certainly never reached upwards to 8 hours or a long, 60-hour RPG. They didn't. So that's why they were insanely difficult. They kind of had to offer some sort of replay value like that, but that's just how they were. And it's great. It's great that there's enthusiasts that enjoy those games and still love them dearly. And some games like that still get made nowadays. You got PSN, Xbox Live, PC releases that are games made like that in mind. They purposely are made with stuff to be a classic arcade shoot 'em up, whatever side-scrolling game they want to be, whatever that specific developer is going for. So in a sense, those are modern games, and you can still play those today in this day and age. But that's why, $60 AAA video games can't necessarily be that insanely difficult to you up front on a normal setting of difficulty. And that's kind of why I say, no. I say kind of because the game can't do that to you on a normal difficulty. But, they're not, modern games are still pretty difficult if the player, choose to bump them up to a certain difficulty. Now, I love hunting trophies on PS3, PS4, Vita, and all that, and I can certainly say that some games that I've done, I'll play their hardest difficulty setting, and they're really not that difficult at all, which is kind of a bummer. But there are certain modern video games that I've played on the hardest setting, and my God, I wanted to kick children and punch animals. And I love animals. I love them more than children, actually. So, you see what I'm saying, right? Call of Duty World at War on veteran difficulty, dude, will make you want to do terrible things to your family. Think of the number one person that you love, and you will just fucking rip them to shreds, and you will literally murder them. You'll be charged with murder. Don't do that. Hey, guy considering murder, don't murder anybody. But games are difficult, dude. Some modern video games can be difficult. They can be. And, you know, usually you'll see people on comments or something, anywhere, whatever you're looking at, like a Metal Gear Solid 4, like it has a bunch of cutscenes or whatever, or The Last of Us was just a movie or what have you, and people will talk about that, like, you know, oh, I hate where games are going or whatever, but I love it. I love where they're going. They offer something that past games couldn't do, and I still love past games for what they are. Like I said, they're still getting released today, and I still play them and love them. It's a lot of nice variety. So if you're that kind of person that really likes a level of challenge, go out and, you know, buy a game, play it on the hardest difficulty, or play something like Dark Souls or Demon Souls. I didn't even talk about that. Games like that, still, you know, they're few and far between, but there's certainly games that still try to offer you that insane, crushing difficulty, even at a normal setting, right? Like I said, like earlier, I said, like, oh, games can't do that to you. Most games can't do that to you, but there are certain niche games that have a good following, like Dark Souls and all that. They're offering you something that you deeply want, so go out and play them. Or if you're the kind of guy or gal that is just so good at games that nothing is difficult to you, I'm sorry, my friend. I don't think anyone can help you. Go play I Want to Be the Guy on PC or something. That game's difficult. That game's unfairly difficult. Like, I'm going to walk this way, and oh crap, an apple came out of nowhere and exploded me into 1,000 pieces difficult. Anyway, that ends my discussion on the topic, are modern video games too easy? Kinda, but no, not really. What do you think? Talk with me, comments, please. I certainly like, I'm one of those people that if you write a super long paragraph and it's rational and it's, you know, you're not being a super huge dick muncher, I will reply with a super long paragraph back to you and stuff, and probably, you know, we'll talk. Good discussion. That's what this show's all about. I'm Ryan Benecki. Thank you for talking with me, and I'll see you all in my next video. Take care.